Hey YouTuber, it's Mr. Wilson the Car Guy coming at you with a video on how to replace an intermediate steering shaft on a 2005 Pontiac G6. It's a pretty common failure on these cars from what I've seen. Also common on, let me see, Malibu, Chevy Trax, Cobalts, G5s. Seems that GM didn't really like to protect this side of this U-joint in the engine bay side and cause that U-joint to wear out and clunk. Now, I've already pulled this one out just to inspect it because this vehicle had a clunking noise, but it ended up being an inner tie rod. So I'm gonna reinstall this this perfectly good non-clunking intermediate shaft. Pretty simple job. Some of the videos I watched on here make it seem very complicated, but you should be able to get this out in 10 to 15 minutes if you have a light mechanical skill. And all you need is 11mm socket and a ratchet. I like this shorty ratchet because you're a little bit into tight areas. Although on the interior I had enough room to hit this with an impact. Both these bolts with the steering wheel centered are easy to get your arms in there and loosen them up. It's a little bit tough on this rack side because you really need to get some torque on it to unloosen that bolt. And to do that, if you have one of these, that really helps because you're getting leverage. So you grab this guy and you can bend it around some of the items in the engine bay that are in the way. But you know, a regular ratchet will work. You're just gonna really need to throw more elbow grease in there. So anyhow, I've already pre-treated this for future rust outs for the customer. Hopefully they'll get some more miles out of this, but I replace these all the time, and I really thought that would be the problem with this car. But only 40,000 miles in this. It shouldn't fail that darn soon, and neither should the inner tie rod, but you never know these days. So I'm going to give you a loose rundown here. I'm kind of filming this with my camera, so bear with me if it gets a little jumbly on this ride. But this is how easy it is to do this job. So you've got a little cover right here that sits at the bottom of your steering column. It actually pops out with these clips right here and two 7mm screws at the bottom, which I have right here, and those mount here and here, and that cover sits right below your steering column. You're going to need to take that cover off so you can get access to this joint, which you can see the receptacle unit. So let's go ahead and let's put this shaft in the hole. So we're going to fish the engine bay side in first. You should do this from the interior side in, not the opposite way, because that's the way this gasket clips in. So make sure when you install this, you don't try to pull it out from the engine bay side. You do it from the interior side. So the nice thing about this is this shaft collapses in and out so that you can adjust it, and makes it a heck of a lot easier when you're pulling it out. Now, let's see if we can get a focus going on in here. Okay, come on, focus. Here's the end of our shaft here coming out of the steering. Now we're just going to take this guy and you can see the divot in the shaft. You want that to line up with the screw. Perfect. Now, come down to the engine side here at the rack receptacle. You bear with me for a minute here while I shine some light on the subject. Now, I love these videos where everything's down inside the engine bay. Now you see the receptacle unit, and you see the shaft coming in from the interior. And like I said, this is very, very easy. I'm going to black you out here for a minute while I put this on. Okay. So there we go. We're back on. Very, very simple. This side will be tough if your vehicle has a lot of miles or in a rust belt. This side could be tough for you to pull up and out. Mine has a little mileage and not rusty, and I had to give it a couple of yanks to get this thing out. But if you're in a rust belt, I'd soak right where that shaft goes in and let that sit for a while. And you might have to tap it from the bottom side up on jack stands if you're frozen in there. That's the only thing that really I think could delay this job. And like I said, all you got to do is reinstall your 10 millimeter. Why do I keep saying 10 millimeter? Because that's everything that we see normally on vehicles these days. But gee, I wanted to put an 11 millimeter bolt on there, and you just slide that in. So tighten them down. It's really, really simple. They're very accessible. This is a really simple job that you can do at home. I think that about covers it. Like you said, I got the shaft on both sides in 5 minutes, and we're going to go ahead and tighten the bolts down. Hope this helped you all out.